It's Friday, April 26th. Tonight we visit Discovery Place Kids' newest hands-on museum. Next on North Carolina Now.
Quality public television is made possible through the financial contributions of viewers like you, who invite you to join them in supporting UNC TV.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Mitchell Lewis. Thanks for joining us. Tonight on North Carolina Now, we'll visit the unique Asheville eatery named the 2013 winner of the Big Tasty Food Business Contest. And we'll talk with RDU Airport Director Michael Landguth about what's ahead for the capital city's travel hub. But we begin in Richmond County. A new regional children's museum is providing the North Carolina Sandhills and South Central Piedmont region with an innovative choice for kids to learn, discover, and play. As Heather Burgess shows us, the new Discovery Place Kids Museum in Rockingham is proving a big draw for people from all over the region and is bringing a welcomed economic boost to the city.
Whether it's moving to the beat or learning the science of slime.
And we're gonna stir it up. We're gonna fill the slime.
Yes! For these kids, it's all about how I can do anything at the newest Discovery Place Kids Museum in downtown Rockingham.
It's all about kids coming in and playing. You know, play is the work of childhood. They get to come in, they have a good time, and they're learning while they're here.
The museum features activities for children from infant to 10, but even the adults enjoy the special touches the exhibits offer when it comes to the culture and heritage of the Sandhills, including an emphasis on farming and a nod to Richmond County's racing roots and the Rock.
The museum is based around the whole theme of I Can. So when you first come in, you'll see the I Can Wonder Why area, and that's a great area for kids to play around and try things and then wonder what are the science concepts behind that. And then we have an area called I Can Be Anything, and there you see a lot of things that are unique to the Sandhills region. Like our farm area has peach trees, which is very important, and farming is very important in this area. We also have a speed shop and a build-your-own race car with the mural of the Rockingham Motor Speedway behind it, which is really cool. So kids can get in and try to play around with a car and pretend like they're fixing a car. They can pretend to be a veterinarian. They can pretend to be a firefighter. One of the things you'll see right off is this huge 1940s era fire truck, which is really cool.
This is quite delicious.
And families come from all around the area, including over the state line, to check out this latest offering for their little ones.
It's been great. We're so excited to have something more local. It's only just 20 to 30 minutes to get here. We come usually about once a week. Any day it's rainy, we want to get out a little bit, and they really enjoy it.
This is wonderful. I can't tell you, because there's not a lot offered for little children to do things hands-on like this.
Here at Discovery Place Kids Rockingham, it's all about learning through play, and many of the exhibits have a science application, like this pulley system, where you're learning about physics, the fun and active way. Notice it says
After the pulley system, it's all for a special class of making slime. There's also fun-filled exhibits that inspire the scientist in all of us. Each activity geared specifically for learning through play.
I was taking the scarf and I was putting it, and it would come out, and it would go, and it would come out.
I firmly believe hands-on playing is when children learn the most, and this place offers that completely.
Discovery Place Kids is truly a community affair, with trust and private donations stepping in to make the museum a reality for downtown Rockingham.
It really would not have been possible without the community. Just the amount of support, financial and everything from our community has been overwhelming. Not only that, we have people from our community who come every single day. You know, they've bought memberships, they've got their kids' handprints on our hand tile wall. They love it, and everyone here is glad that it's here.
This Discovery Place Kids is a regional model designed by its parent company, Discovery Place, and the Charlotte Nature Museum. The hope is to spark a love for learning in areas where there is a need for children's educational venues. Already, Discovery Place Rockingham has seen a phenomenal growth in memberships for the new museum.
The thing that we hear the most, honestly, is I'm so glad that Rockingham finally got something for kids to do. And then they come in, they say it's great, and when they leave, they'll say, we'll see you tomorrow, or we'll see you next week. So everyone is loving it.
So the kids come, they discover, and enjoy the play, all the while telling themselves, I can do whatever I dream.
Oh no!
The museum also holds many special events and is planning summer camps. The Foundation for the Carolinas, as well as the Richmond Community Foundation and the Cole Foundation, were all instrumental in providing funding to make the museum a reality. For more information, visit our website. In statewide headlines, lawmakers passed 2 education bills yesterday. The State House voted unanimously in favor of the school safety bill. The measure would require lockdown drills in each district every 2 years, place crisis kits, including first aid supplies and communication devices, in all schools. Districts would also provide school maps and master keys to local law enforcement agencies. Meanwhile, the Senate passed the Back to Basics bill, requiring students to learn cursive and multiplication tables by the end of the 5th grade. And Kelly McCullen will have the latest on all the week's activity at the General Assembly tonight at 9 on Legislative Week in Review. You can also follow the stories and join the conversation on social media. Links are available on our website, unctv.org/legweek. And now here's a look at tomorrow's weather. We'll see rain in the mountains and the western Piedmont, with a mix of clouds and sun across the rest of the state. Temperatures will remain mild with highs in the upper 50s to low 70s. And now here's a look at what happened on Wall Street today. The inspiration for a new business venture can come from almost anywhere. A conversation with a family or friend member, a do-it-yourself invention to make a routine chore easier, and even a donut. Frank Graff introduces us to a husband-wife team that just won a food business contest in Asheville. You'll never look at donuts quite the same again.
The golden rays of the warm circle in the sky were just peeking through Valerie and Ron Patton's kitchen window.
The trick to doing these cake donuts is that the first time you put them in, they have to float for 10 seconds rather than dunking all the way down in.
As the warm, golden brown circles of their company's first production of the day were prepared.
We figured out over time exactly how many seconds they need to be in there, and a little too long or a little too short, and they just don't come out right.
It turns out making donuts is a lot like running a small business. There's a lot of trial and error, and that's appropriate for this story because Ron and Valerie own Vortex Donuts. The company is one of Asheville's newest small businesses, and right now it's run out of the kitchen in their home.
This is our rotating tap donut. It has toasted North Carolina peanuts and some pretzels, and that's the one that has the special, whatever the local beer of the day will be. We call it Paris of the South, kind of Asheville's little moniker. It has a French broad chocolate coffee chocolate on top, and toasted butter toasted baguette, and some chocolate glaze on a chocolate donut. That's my favorite. Our local music venue is called the Orange Peel, so that's why we have this nice little chocolate donut with some orange glaze on it. And I am not a powdered sugar person. I don't like the crunch, so I developed my own ethereal sugar, I call it. So this powder will almost instantly dissolve in your mouth.
Cooking is art and baking is science. Baking is all about time and temperature and ingredients and proportions. And Valerie and I are both ex-engineers and scientists, so making donuts is a perfect application for what we used to do.
The couple started talking about opening their own business last fall.
There's two kinds of research that we've really done. One is the marketing research. We've done that around town, where we've actually sat in bakeries and coffee shops just to watch people come in and out and see what they're buying. We've also gone to donut shops in Atlanta and Charleston, and actually even in Duck, North Carolina, to see what products they were selling. I've actually sat in the donut shops and I've counted ceiling tiles so that I could get the square footage of their shop so we would know what size we needed. And then there's the research of getting donut cookbooks.
They've scoured dozens of recipes, mixing and matching, adding and subtracting to create their own donut mixes.
Practice, lots of practice, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of donuts. And eventually you learn your equipment. This is just a cheap donut cutter, but I took it down to the shop and I was sharpening it, making it completely flat. It's perfect now.
Every recipe features locally sourced ingredients and quirky names that play on the area's history, landmarks, and culture.
As we walk around, we go, oh, that could be an interesting name for a donut. So what kind of donut would we put with that? What flavors?
That silver spoon on their kitchen wall is a sign all that research paid off. Vortex Donuts beat out 58 other entrants to win the Big Tasty Food Business Contest. The challenge is designed to help food entrepreneurs move a product from their kitchen to the market.
He needs to fry some big batches. He wants to put another fryer here.
So Vortex Donuts is moving. Part of the prize in the contest is the use of the commercial kitchen space and equipment, plus the business know-how of Blue Ridge Food Ventures. The Asheville-based business incubator is designed to help food entrepreneurs. The group sponsored the contest.
They have the facility, but there's also technical assistance and training and resources available, so that we don't just give them the kitchen. We say, you know, these are the other things you have to do. Here's where you go get help on your business plan. This is how you register with the FDA. These are the regulations. So it's a lot of information. It's not just the facility.
Ron and Valerie call all that business advice invaluable. And so while they fine-tune their plans, they're also looking for a storefront, most likely in or close to downtown Asheville. They hope to open in the fall.
There was nowhere in town that had any sort of upscale gourmet donuts.
It wasn't just about the product. It's about a business. We're trying to create a business that will grow and last and create jobs.
And then there's the biggest challenge of all, figuring out how to make more donuts. The old quantity versus quality question.
To practice scaling up, that moving to bigger mixers and the full-size regular fryer, making dozens of them at a time instead of just 2 or 3 at a time.
Blue Ridge Food Ventures was the state's first business incubator to focus on farmers and food entrepreneurs, and roughly 20 to 30 food entrepreneurs rent space there every month. To learn more about them or about Vortex Donuts, visit our website. Michael Landguth took the helm of Raleigh-Durham International Airport in November 2011, replacing retiring director John Brantley, who stepped down after 30 years at the airport. Mr. Landguth recently stopped by our studios to talk about the projects he's undertaken during his first year, what's ahead, and his long-term vision for RDU. Michael Landguth, welcome to North Carolina Now.
Thanks for having me here.
Now, you are the director of Raleigh-Durham International Airport, and you've been at the position since November of 2011. You bring with you over 20 years of aviation experience. What led you into this field and on to RDU?
Well, you know, it's interesting. I actually started off flight instructing and wanted to become a commercial pilot. And every single time I kind of turned around to try to get into that career field, it didn't seem to kind of match up. And I talked to an airport manager one day and I said, you know, I like airplanes and I like being at airports. Tell me a little bit about this career field. And so he walked me through a little bit about the background and what it was like. And I said, you know, I think this is something I want to pursue. And so one of my first positions I took was at the Sky Harbor International Airport, which is in Phoenix, Arizona. And that's kind of where I started. And my love for aviation and for airport management kind of blossomed from there as I progressed through my career.
Now, when it comes to RDU, just how busy is RDU now, especially when you look at flights coming out and folks coming in?
Well, if you look at, there's probably about 350, 375 commercial service airports in this country. We're number 39. So we're the 39th largest airport in this country. We have 170 daily departures that fly to 39 different destinations, both domestically and internationally. So we're in the category of what's called a medium hub-sized type airport. So we're a fairly large airport. We process about 9.2 million passengers, use those facilities on an annual basis. So it's quite large.
And of course, since you've been the new director there, you've had several changes benefiting travelers who come through RDU. And one of those changes is some of the new air services that are going through RDU, some of the new destinations. Talk about some of those.
Absolutely. And a lot of it was hard work from our air service development team, by our board and our staff there at RDU. They really had worked hard for several years. Some of those new announcements are United Airlines that flies nonstop service to San Francisco. When I first came into the community, it was something that everybody told me, we need nonstop service to San Francisco. So working with our team, working with the airlines and working with the community, we made that a reality. That started in August of this last year, and it's done exceptionally well. The average load factor, which means the average number of people on the plane, is about 80%, and that's very good for a carrier. They seem to be happy from a profitability standpoint. And we had a little concern that there might be some little downturn at different points throughout the year. You know, in the January timeframe, maybe there would be a drop-off. We have really not seen that drop-off with that San Francisco service. That's great news. We appreciate the local community and their support. We also recently announced new nonstop service with American Airlines on LAX. American Airlines to LAX, not on LAX. And that just started. First airplane in, had 6 seats available. It was full coming in, 7 seats available going out, so that service has done well. On top of that, Delta Airlines is providing some competition with 7-day-a-week service to LAX, so that looks like that's going to be another great market as we move forward. We've also got some additional frequency going into St. Louis, going into Orlando, and also Tampa. And of course, Frontier Airlines started this week with nonstop service to Trenton, New Jersey. So really, this is an incredible time to get all this service, really during a period where the airline industry is really consolidating. So you're starting to see a lot of mergers that are going on. So Delta Northwest, now Delta Airlines. Southwest and AirTran, now Southwest Airlines. You've got United and Continental. And of course, on the bubble moving forward, American and U.S. Airways. So I anticipate by end of year, American will be a combined company with U.S. Airways moving forward. So a lot of changes in the industry, but great opportunities for RDU, and we've capitalized on those opportunities. And we're so blessed that all the citizens have used the service, because I think that's the key in today's environment. If we get it, you got to use it in order for it to remain in the market.
Although you have a lot of flight activity going out of RDU, you've got a lot of projects going on within RDU.